Hey guys, my webcam is going really weird. If I move this way, you can see the colour of my face. If I go this way, it goes grey eventually. See, I don't know what's wrong with my flipping camera, but never mind. We're not here to talk about my grey face. We're here to talk about my top 10 cult classics that I own. See, I'm only going to be doing reviews on DVDs that I actually own, because I want to own every DVD that there was ever made. And people change their mind all the times, and they have different top 10s, and people always put on comments of videos like, oh, what about such and such? And it's like, well, it's their opinion, you know? But this is just the top 10 cult classics that I own, that I think are the best. They're my favourite, my top 10. Okay, we're going to go backwards. So number 10 is... Number 10... Phenomena. So as you can see, I have like no special effects. Post-it notes. Number 10. Dario Argento's Phenomena. I love this movie. I do. It's a weird movie, but he's a freaky guy. I mean, if you've seen Demons, which I'll be putting in my top 10 World Cinema collection. I have a separate collection of World Cinema DVDs, and I'll be doing a top 10 World Cinema films. That will be in there. Yeah, as you can see, I paid £3 for this. I in fact got this from the exact same place and the same day that I bought Demon Cop. And this was the good part. Yeah, there's not much of a real in-depth plot. It is a lot of imagery mainly. I mean, there is a really great scene right at the beginning which kind of kicks the whole movie off, with the girl's head. Anyone who's seen this will know what I'm talking about. Her head, the head part. Let's just say that because it's pretty sick. Yeah, Jennifer Connelly in her debut movie. I love Jennifer Connelly. She's so beautiful. I love Labyrinth. I don't know why I don't own Labyrinth. I've seen that a million times. I'm going to own Labyrinth after Christmas. If it kills me, I will. I love Jennifer Connelly. Look, and this film is kind of hard to explain because it's a really odd thing to be interested in. Basically, the general plot is Jennifer Connelly is about 14, 15. She gets sent. She's the daughter of a very famous film director, obviously fictional for the film, but she gets sent to sort of the Switzerland, the Alps. She goes to basically kind of, you know, one of those areas where, a bit like Black Narcissus, where, you know, the sort of the air can make people do crazy things. So she gets sent to a very posh boarding school for European sort of kids, American kids who, you know, very rich parents. And the second she gets there, shit starts happening. Now, she gets sent there, and you'd think she's the only normal one in the whole movie when she gets sent there, but she's actually the weirdest one, but she's the one who makes the most sense because, you know... Oh yeah, she has a special power, like a super... I'm going to keep moving because, yeah, it's weird. She has this weird supernatural power where she can talk to insects, and they think she's their queen, like mainly flies. In fact, that thing there, that picture, is from a scene in the movie where she calls upon the flies, and then I don't know, but yeah, the plot of the movie is that she gets sent to this boarding house sort of thing, this school, and there's a killer on the loose who's not really a serial killer, I guess, only kills a few people, but has killed a few of the girls from the school, and she kind of stumbles upon clues as to who the killer is. She kind of gets involved without really getting involved. It's all kind of dream-like. She has these dreams as well. She sleepwalks, and this is where it gets. The people who run, the very posh European people that run this boarding school, they think she's the devil because she sleepwalks. They think sleepwalking is like the devil taking her away, and then of course she's like, I can talk to insects, and they all think she's crazy. So yeah, they all think she's nuts. Donald Pleasance is in this. I'm not going to say shame on Donald Pleasance. I love Donald Pleasance, and this is actually it's a European movie, so, you know, it's bound to be a little bit weird considering it's not Hollywood blockbuster, you know. Yeah, he's in it, and he's like an insect expert. Is it anthropology? I'm not sure what the insect expertise term is. And she befriends him, and he befriends her, and then she kind of just stumbles across the serial killer's plan or situation and gets involved. It's just really weird, all the things surrounding that particular plot. I mean, that's a plot on its own, but there's all these really weird ways of getting to the plot. It's so strange. It's definitely worth watching. I must say, if you're not into this thing, if you're not really into kind of European movies, especially this is Italian, especially sort of 80s Italian, then you might not watch it all the way through. You might even get kind of bored. But if you like Jennifer Connelly and want to see how she started out before she was in Labyrinth, then give it a watch. Yay! Okay, that's number 10. Okay, number 9 is Class of 1984. Now, I only recently, and I say recent, but I mean sort of about 8 months ago, something like that, found out about this movie. I couldn't believe I didn't know about this movie, because the number 1 on this list is a parody of this movie. I didn't know anything about this movie. It's ridiculous. Yeah, sorry. I'm just looking at my notes. Just made some notes just to make sure I know what the hell I'm talking about. Yeah, okay, so this one obviously didn't come out in 84. It came out in 1982 though, and it got banned in loads of countries, and I'm not surprised, because it's not sick. Like, there's worse things in it. It's not sick or gross or anything, but it's disturbing. Like, anyone can kill someone or rape someone or anything in a movie that's gross, but some movies do it worse than others. Let's put it that way. This guy, obviously this is a painting, but this guy here is the protagonist, or the antagonist actually. His name's Timothy Van Patten. He actually wrote a really nice piano piece for this movie, which isn't released. And if anyone ever finds out if it gets released, can you let me know? Because I love that piano piece. It's wonderful. Oh, and I'm going to play the theme tune. I'm going to do something with these videos that isn't just me yakking, so the theme tune's going to go over this little segment. Woohoo! Yeah, Alice Cooper wrote this theme tune actually and sings it. So that's a little bit weird that it's Alice Cooper doing sort of... Yeah, I'm going to talk now. Yeah, the plot of this movie is kind of one of those ones that doesn't really have a plot. It's one of those scene after scene after scene movies. And Timothy Van Patten is Peter Stegman, and he's the gang leader, and they're his little cronies, and basically he is a really messed up kid. He's like 18. He's seriously messed up. Jesus Christ, I'm not surprised it got banned. And there's a new teacher who starts at the school, sorry. Andrew Norris is the new teacher, and he starts at the school, and he's got like he really wants to help the kids and get through to them. He's a music teacher, so he does the music class, of course, and then he comes across these guys and they give him trouble, and he keeps getting involved, and he keeps trying to figure out why the teachers aren't doing anything about their mischief and whatnot. And the more he gets involved, the more they get pissed off with him, so they ruin his life, you know, they really do. And when it gets towards the end and sort of the climax, it does get really, really bad, because it gets really physical and really mental, and it's not very nice. It's definitely worth watching, because it is fake, you know, it's a movie, you have to remember it's a movie. But yeah, it's quite intense. I mean, most high school bullies, even in horror movies and things like this, he's worse than, he's the one who just goes way past the line. He really does. And Michael J. Fox is in this as well, pre Back to the Future, and he's really chubby and he's got a little bowl haircut, and I was like, oh my god, it's Michael J. Fox, he's really cool. He's pretty good in that. He's got a good supporting role in this. Yeah, that's kind of the plot of the movie. Is the music teacher comes in and he shakes things up, they don't like it, and they make his life a living hell. And he really is a psycho though. Oh man, just watch it. Seriously, you're just going to have to watch it. Okay, I think that's pretty much all I can say about it. Oh, they did make a couple of sequels though, which I have yet to see, and I would love to see the second one. Class of 1999, which came out in 1990. I've seen trailers of the sequel, and it's set in a bit of more of a futuristic state. Like, they have robots and all the kids have got machine guns and things like that. It looks a bit more Prayer of the Roller Boys styly, but yeah, it was good. And then they made another sequel. They made one called Class of 1999 2 that was made in 1994. I have no idea what that one's about actually, so there you go. I think that's pretty much it, and the song's almost over anyway, but oh, that was good time, isn't it? It's going away. Hey, there we go. Okay, that was number 9. I know, I'm sorry I ramble. It's already 10 minutes long. We're only on the second one. Maybe I'll do a top 5 and then another part. Okay, number 8. Oh, I lost my little... There we go. Number 8. Phantasm. I will take the sticker off. Phantasm. Now, this is, obviously is the box set. I'm that much... I have the box set, people. Look at it, and it's all holographic and stuff. It's not really working on film, but you know what I mean. I'm not doing all of them. I'm only going to do the... I'm only counting the first one because I think the sequels are... you know, unless you're into Phantasm, you don't really... You probably wouldn't really talk about the sequels very much, except for number 3, because I just brought him back. But number 1 is... This is a cult classics video, so we're talking about number 1, which was made in 1979, and it really is a 70s movie. It's basically about this guy. It's about a young boy named Mike and his older brother called Jody, and Jodie's friend Reggie. Reggie Bannister, people. Reggie Bannister is amazing. I love him. He's like number 2 against Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell's number 1. B-movie actors. Oh man, Reggie Bannister. But yeah, it's basically about Jodie and Mike and Reggie, and Jodie starts to suspect something's going on in a local cemetery, and it turns out that the tall man is like, he's not really you never really find out what he is, even in the 4th one. You know, he's not human, but he's not supernatural really. And basically the plot of the movie is that Mike starts digging around for he starts digging around where he shouldn't be digging around. He involves Jodie, he involves Reggie, convinces them, and what it is that the tall man takes dead bodies and he puts them in barrels and he sends them back to his home planet. I think he's got a home planet because it's another dimension where they become his drone slaves. I don't think they're his drone slaves because obviously he's on Earth, but it's like another dimension rather than a planet. But you do get to see it in the movie, and they do talk about it a lot in the rest of the movies. That's kind of the point of the whole story. But yeah, yeah, Jodie, Mike, and Reggie basically try and find out who the tall man is and how to stop him, and that's kind of it. And it's really, there are some bits in it that just don't make any sense whatsoever, so you're not quite sure what to pay attention to because it might not come up again. I'd give it a watch. I wouldn't bother with the whole series, especially not the 4th one. Oh my god, oh no, bad Phantasm. But you should at least give the first one a watch if you like the idea of the tall man, then watch the sequels. If you don't like the tall man, don't bother. Seriously, the second one maybe. Okay, that's enough of Phantasm for now. I'm getting a little bit quicker at these. Right, number 7. Da 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 da. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Everyone must love this movie. Okay, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Tomatoes, rather. This was one of my favourites as a kid. I don't really remember it much from when I was a kid. I remember, you know, you watch a lot of films and you don't quite take them in as a child. You don't understand what they are. Yeah, come on, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, people, with Mason Dixon. I love that name. I've always loved that name. The basic plot of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes is, I know I'm looking at the back here, but it doesn't actually tell me. I do know what this film is about. So. Tomatoes kind of, they get a life of their own. I'm not quite sure how in the first one. I know they do it in the second one, but I can't remember in the first one. And some of them grow massive, like the size of cars. Like they're like the uber tomatoes. And they basically, it's kind of one of those spoofs that isn't a spoof. It's one of those spoof movies that takes itself seriously. So in the movie, they're all dead serious, even though they're being ridiculous. But yeah, they hire Mason Dixon, and he hires a crack team of people. Like one of them's like just a guy in a scuba gear constantly. One of them's like a girl who's like a massive weightlifter. Just random people. And there's another guy who like does disguises, but his disguise just like entails a moustache or something. Yeah, they have to find out what's going on with the tomatoes, take down all the tomatoes, kill them all. Meanwhile, while they're doing this, trying to find out information, people are scared of tomatoes. The whole world, they're attacking everyone. They just they just attack people randomly. Like, there's a scene, I think there's a scene where there's a helicopter and just a load of tomatoes go flying at it. It's really random. But yeah, it's a bunch of tomatoes killing everybody. It's got one of the most awesome theme songs of all time. I'm not playing the theme song, but I am going to play. There is a song in this movie called Puberty Love, and it is apparently meant to be like kryptonite to the tomatoes, and I will play it because it only goes on for like 20 seconds. It's so bad. All the tomatoes are freaking out over it. Okay. That's so bad. And that was on YouTube, and so someone put as a comment, the top comment, people, is, "We can talk all the crap we want about Justin Bieber, but we'll be thanking him if the tomatoes decide to attack again." That is awesome. Okay, I'll get back to this review. Yeah, I don't know who came up with that song, but that's a brilliant way of killing an evil menace. Puberty Love. Brilliant. And I think that's pretty much all I can say about Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. If you haven't seen it, you should at least look up the theme tune, because the theme tune is brilliant. And I think that's what most people remember from the movie. And even if you've never seen the movie, you probably already know the theme tune. If you do, let me know. Yeah, that's it. Number 7. Okay, number 6. Freaked. Oh, this is one of my childhood favourites. It's not even one of my childhood cult classic favourites, it's just a favourite in general. I love Freaked. Stars Alex Winter, better known as Bill from Bill and Ted. And he's amazing. And it's got Randy Quaid in it as well, which is brilliant. I personally prefer Dennis Quaid, but Randy Quaid's just as good. He's great in Independence Day. Yeah, Freaked. This, when did this come out? This came out, sorry I've written them all down randomly. This came out in 1993. And I probably saw this when this just came out, because I remember seeing this when I was really little, and it was funny as hell. It's basically kind of a sideshow freak show movie, a comedy. Randy Quaid owns one of those kind of looks like it's kind of out in the bayou, you know, like with the dirt tracks everywhere. No one, you only stumble across it in the middle of the dead of night in a horror movie type carnival places, and he owns it. And Alex Winter plays Ricky Coogan, who is a massive child star, and as he's grown up he's just really, really famous for what he did as a kid. He goes with his best friend to this, whatever state that this is in, whatever American state it's in. He flies there to basically talk to them about this chemical, I think it's called Zygote or Zygote 24, and it's like a sludge and it's toxic as hell, but he goes there because he's going to promote it, because he doesn't care, because he's rich and famous and he loves himself. So he goes there with his best friend, who's like the comic relief, and he when he gets there he meets a young girl called Julie, who's a protester. She's protesting with a bunch of other people that he's coming there because they don't want this chemical. It's like a fertilizer. They don't want it to be approved. So it's basically about the three of them. They end up driving off into the country and they stumble across Randy Quaid's freak show in the middle of the night. He then ties them up when they're there, and he puts the chemical on them because it creates freaks. It messes with people's DNA and stuff. So Julie and Ernie, his best friend, turn into this half man, half woman type thing called Julie Ernie. And Ricky Coogan gets half of it down his face and body and becomes the Beast Boy, I think he is. Yeah, the Beast Boy. They don't tend to name him often. And he looks disgusting. He's absolutely gross, if you can see from the photo there. And the film is basically about the three of them integrating with the other freaks. And it's a really funny movie. There's a bunch of puns and a bunch of kind of, what the hell happened there? Like, they go into a little shed and they've got a Hollywood Squares set up with all of them playing it. And yeah, it's just silly fun, but it's really well done. It's really, really funny. Keanu Reeves is in it as well. He wasn't actually credited in this movie. He plays the wolf man in it. Ortiz, the wolf boy, or the dog boy. And he's obviously got all of his face covered with fur, so you probably wouldn't recognise him. But if you do watch it and you go, what, Keanu Reeves? Just look at it and you'll go, oh yeah, Keanu Reeves, that is him. You notice it straight away. But yeah, it's basically about that, and then they all just keep trying to escape. Really, they all keep trying to find ways to escape, and then there's a big show at the end where they all get put on display. And yeah, it's a really funny movie. Watch it; it's good. Okay, number 5. Now I know for a fact that none of you would have seen this, and if anyone watching this, if anyone even does watch this video at some point in the future, if you've seen this movie, please message me, because I don't know anyone else that would ever have seen this movie. Teen Vamp, number 5. Teen Vamp. Take a good look, people. Teen Vamp. Now, I found this, and I say found in the best way. I didn't find it on the street, but I was in one of those kind of knick-knack shops, you know, where they sell like random books that no one's ever heard of, and random this and random that, and pens and rubbers, and they had a small DVD section, and there was a few blockbusters on there, but I don't even know why they had this. This was £3. I took one look at it and went, that's mine, I need to own that. And I picked it up and I was like, wow. And the back of it doesn't really give anything away. I know there's a bit of a glare on the camera, but there's like 2 little scenes. Now this, like The Possessed, was kind of, it wasn't shot with like a handheld camera, but it was shot very poorly. It's a very low budget film, this. And this was distributed by Lakeshore, and I swear to God, everything I own is either Lakeshore or it's Lionsgate. Seriously, Lionsgate and Lakeshore, and possibly, oh no, that's pretty much it. They make the best movies. They've made such massive blockbuster movies, and then they make really shit ones like this too. It's great. This has a really simple plot. Murphy Gilcrease is our protagonist for the movie. He is meant to be 17 years old. He's like 35. I shit you not. The opening of the movie, when you first see him, he's got some serious stubble going on all over. Looks like he's been shaving for years. He's got receding hairline. Just, no, why? Just get a teenager to play it, for fuck's sake. And it was set in the 50s. It was made in the 80s and it was set in the 50s. Clearly, by the way they dressed everybody in it, it's got to be the 50s. Now, Murphy Gilcrease is the biggest loser on the planet, and it's obvious from any part. Even when he becomes a vampire, it's part of it. Yeah, it's called Teen Vamp. That's not a spoiler. I mean, that's kind of the point of the movie. Now, look at how cool that photo is. I can't really get rid of that glare. Look at how cool that photo is. He doesn't look anything like that. Even when he's a vampire, it's the same. But this actually has my favourite scene in any movie ever. And Murphy wants to get laid. So he and his best friend go to this bonfire that the school's holding, and the popular girl that he's in love with is there with her jock boyfriend, as you know, of course. So they go there, and they get dissed, and they leave, and they go to this whorehouse, and that's their term, not mine. There's a new whorehouse at Joe Dan's. So they go there, and he goes in there, pretends he's just come back from the war, so they think he's older than he is. And yeah, so he goes in with a prostitute, and she turns out to be a vampire. She bites him, he becomes a vampire, and the rest of the movie is kind of him becoming a vampire, doing that thing in movies where they're suddenly really cool, they get the girls, they get the boy, they get revenge on all their tormentors. He doesn't really do any of that. I mean, he goes back to school, he literally wakes up the next day as a vampire, right? He's been a total geek his whole life. He's got a dad who just sits there and like this. Apparently he's a vegetable, but he still sits there smoking. His mum's like really religious, and yeah, he comes down with a leather jacket on, his hair slicked back and a white t-shirt, walks in, and his first line as a vampire is, "How's it going, daddy-o?" I'm not even joking. I swear to God, it's really bad. And yeah, so he goes to school, he falls asleep, and then he like grabs his bully by the neck. It's pretty obvious he's not really hurting him either. Like, it's just like that. And I was like, oh wow, special effects clearly weren't there for that one. But yeah, and then the girl that he likes is a bit messed up in the head and she loves all this violent shit. So yeah, that's kind of it, you know. He walks around as a vampire. She begs him to turn her into a vampire for the second half of the movie. The vampire effects are nothing great. It's really bad. You could probably buy the effects yourself from like any store that sells Halloween gear. Fake blood, fake wounds. It's not terrible, but it's no Tom Savini stuff, let's put it that way. If they had Tom Savini on this movie, it'd be a shitload better. I may possibly be doing a creep show review. I have all three of them. Yeah, so the only person you might recognise in this movie is the guy who plays the priest. He was Jesse's dad in Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Yeah, so he's the only person that I recognise in this. And there's the most amazing scene ever in this movie, if you can at least get a hold of it, is where the priest is going to exorcise Murphy, and Murphy, being a vampire, uses his vampire strength, and he pushes him over, but he just goes like this. I'm not even joking. He uses his finger. And you know that thing on the piano where it goes zoom, like organ, like when they've got like a vampire one? They do that noise right as he does it, and it's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. It really is. Sorry, the lighting is terrible. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. And you should really watch it. And then his mum doesn't have any garlic, so she uses onions. That's quite cool as well. That's Teen Vamp. Get a good look. Go buy it. If you can find it, that is. Okay, that was number 5. We're almost at a 26-minute review. This is probably going to be like 40 minutes, this review. Okay, number 4. Troll 1 and 2. I'm counting these as 1 because I think they deserve to go in 1 together because they're both just as good as each other. Troll 1 is... Oh, that's just scared me then. Sorry, just saw that. Troll 1 is amazing. It centres on Noah Hathaway. Is his name Hathaway? It is Hathaway. This came out... Number 1 came out in 86. The second one came out in 1990. So they had 4 years to make it right, and they fucked it up. Yeah, Noah Hathaway, who you'll all know as Atreyu from the Neverending Story movie. He's in this, and his little sister Wendy, and she gets possessed by... Well, not possessed, she gets taken over by a troll. The troll wreaks havoc in her apartment block. And, oh, the family are called the Potter family, and the dad and the son are called Harry. So it's a Harry Potter movie. If you watch Nostalgia Critic, like I do, he did a really good review on these movies, so I'm not really going to go into it too much because you might as well just go watch his one. But yeah, basically the trolls wreak havoc. They want to take over the building so that they can bring their world into the realm of Earth. There is a princess living in the building whose only purpose of being on Earth is to stop the troll leader, him. Can't remember his name. And yeah, it's up to kind of the boy to fix all the problems. I don't know what the fuck the parents were doing. The boy figured it out in 2 seconds. He knew straight away that that little girl wasn't his sister anymore. But yeah, Troll 2 is one of the best movies ever. And I think it is actually classed as the best B-movie, cult movie ever. Of course, it's got the pissing scene where he pisses on all the food. You don't actually see any piss, but he does do it. Of course, it's got the oh my god scene. Oh my god. Even I'm thinking about it now, it makes me laugh. Yeah, the famous, they're eating her, and then they'll eat me. Oh my god! That really is one of the best scenes in any movie ever. That guy's such a geek. Yeah, Troll 2, the family swap with another family in the sticks. Turns out that this town, Nilbog, goblin spelled backwards, they swap with their family, and if you eat anything in the town, then you'll turn into this green mush stuff, and they get to eat you, because apparently all trolls are vegetarians. They don't eat meat. Oh, by the way, Sonny Bono was in the first one too, just to let you know. Yeah, so in the second one, they go there and they just don't eat anything for a few days because he keeps on stopping the little boy, and he keeps seeing his dead granddad who tells him about it. He's like, yeah, they're all trolls and they're going to try and eat you, so you need to like not eat any of the food, and you need to get out of here, you need to convince your parents and your older sister and get out. And and it kind of just follows a couple of days where they don't eat anything, and you see little tidbits of the trolls being evil. They're like, we need to get this family and stuff like that, really. Trying to make them eat and drink stuff. And it's actually one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life, I think, because it is really funny and really entertaining. The acting is terrible. The filming is terrible. The cinematography is terrible. Everything's terrible, especially the mum. But it's so entertaining. The effects are terrible. The storyline in general, especially like the corn scene where they eat the corn. What were you thinking? That's not interesting in any way. That's just stupid. But yeah, Troll 2. Family switches with another family who happens to be a family of trolls. The whole town of trolls. They try and make them eat and drink stuff so that they'll turn into green mush that they can eat them because they're all vegetarians. The little boy is the only person who knows what's going on, so he tries to stop his family from eating or drinking anything. And there's a showdown, as with every movie. At least every horror movie. Okay, that's it. Okay, we're in the top 3 now, people. I think I should stop this review now and just do a separate top 3 because it's already half an hour long and I can't imagine anyone's going to watch it right to the end anyway. So I'm going to stop now and look at part 2 for the top 3.